We are replacing the heater cables on this 1969 Volkswagen Bus and came up with a few tips we thought might be helpful for the questions we see online about this. So looking at the back, here's where we're working, and this is what actually connects to the motor to be able to turn the little heater valve on. And we've got some tips to be able to tell you how to get this loose and then also how to run your new cable. And we'll take a look up front next before we get started. So this is behind the dash of the bus, and this is where the cable goes to. You can see that we removed the heater cable on the right. We're about to remove the one on the left. Now as he takes that clip off, you'll see that you'll need to do the same whenever you're releasing your old cable in order to replace it to the new. See how that clip just came off real easy there? And we're going to go ahead and unassemble this cable on the left to do the passenger side. And at this point we can take the heater cable and just run it out of the little hinge that it's stuck in. Now it should be pretty self-explanatory how to feed that through the bottom, and then we'll take a look at how to pull it out. Now before you pull it out, we're going to teach you a trick how to hook up a piece of actually paracord, and that's going to allow you to pull your new one through. That's one of the big tips that we had for you. So a huge advantage that we have is that the windshield is out of the bus. So I don't know if you have a crack in your windshield and want to wait till it's being replaced to do this, or you know, we're giving you an inside look as far as what you're going to be sticking your hand up in the dash and doing here. So fully noted that we have an advantage. So this is where the heat exchangers are located on the motor, and this is where the wire that we're messing with and running back through and replacing goes. And as you can see, this opens up a little butterfly, which is what lets your heat in the cab. So we'll get back to work. So here's what we're dealing with as far as disassembly. This is where it connects to your heat exchanger again. So we're going to show you how to disassemble this. Be aware that a lot of people break this part, so just be very careful whenever you're taking this apart, because apparently they're dang near impossible to find online. Alright, so the first thing is to remove it from the bracket. Just like that, just pull it down carefully. Just pull back the little mount piece. Now this little white cap piece just slides right out of the line itself. And then it has a split in it, so with your thumb, press on it really carefully and just run the actual heater cable through that crack, and it'll come right out. See that crack there? Alright, put that in a safe place. So we're using an 8mm just to take off the little piece that connects to the heat exchanger, and we're going to save that to use on the new heater cable. So here's what we've done. We've used a little welding wire. Fishing line might work. You'll just have to play around with it. But the key is, when he's pulling this brake cable from the front, you're going to pull it out from the front. So it's going to go from here to the front. You want to have a piece of paracord, or like I said, strong fishing line, something that we're going to use to pull the new cable back through. It may be easy enough to push the cable through on its own power, but we like to give it a little help in case it gets stuck. And also what we can do is, once we pull this paracord through, we can kind of play seesaw with it, pulling it to the front and the back, and clean out that hard line that the heater cable runs through. So here's what our setup looked like. Welding wire tied to the heater cable, tied to this paracord. And now we're going to snip off the old and connect the new and run it back through. Just make sure you pull on it hard before you run it. You want to make sure, if your hand will break it, then it'll probably break going through. You want to make sure you have a good knot. And just like you saw, we pulled that through. We're going to disconnect the paracord off the back here. It's starting to get pretty late, so we're going to let you guys figure out how to get that hooked back up. But really all we need to do is just remove our paracord and then hook up all those little boots. If they're still reusable, we may end up replacing those. And then we'll get it hooked back up to the motor once we get the motor and the heat exchangers in. But just a quick tip, hope this helps somebody out.